So thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We have a great panel here today. Four of the best Canisius students that I've ever met in my whole life right here. Really excited to talk to you guys about Canisius, just give you sort of the behind-the-scenes look of what it's like to be a Canisius student. My name is Jack Knights. I'm an admissions counselor at Canisius. I'm also a 2017 graduate of Canisius. So I'll be sort of moderating everything. You guys see the Q&A on the bottom of your screen. Feel free to throw any questions that you might have. But we'll get started with everybody that's joining us today, introducing themselves, all of our students. So Jake, why don't you get us started?
Okay, yeah, so my name is Jacob Mclaughlin. I'm a sophomore right now, and I am majoring in finance, economics, and accounting. And I am from Buffalo. I went to St. Joe's for high school.
Right on, good stuff. All right. Valerie?
Hi, my name is Valeria. I am a senior psych major on the pre-med track here at Canisius, and I'm from Florida.
All right, Paige, why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Yeah, my name is Paige. I am a junior here at Canisius. I am a Spanish major with an animal behavior minor, and I'm from Rochester, New York.
Right on. All right, Luca, who are
Good
you?
evening, everybody. My name is Luca Militello. I'm a sports management major here at Canisius. I'm also a sophomore, and I am from Washington, D.C.
Right on. Good stuff. All right. So we want to thank our panelists first for joining us today, taking the time out of their break here. They're on break right now. They're not on campus right now. But why don't we just start it off with Paige? Why don't you tell us a little bit about sort of what sort of clubs and activities you're involved with, and then we'll go to Valeria. You can go next after her, but just talk about sort of the clubs. Over 100 different clubs and activities at Canisius, so lots of options to do. But Paige, what are you involved in?
Yeah, I'm a part of the honors program on campus, and then I'm also vice president of Unity, which is our GSA. And then in the past, I've been a part of the Crescendos, which is our a cappella group on campus. But this year, because of my semester, it's really busy. I decided to take off, but I also can answer some questions about that if there are any. Great.
Awesome. Valeria, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I'm a part of a lot of clubs, but like the really like major ones I'm a part of are Phi Sigma Sigma. That's our social sorority on campus, as well as I'm the president of our National Psychology Honor Society on campus that is in like the psych department.
All right.
And also, I guess when I first got to Canisius, I was part of mock trial for 2 years, which was a lot of fun in the like law part of campus.
As a pre-med student, you were involved with that, or did you change your major? You changed your major?
No, I've been pre-med the whole time, but I never changed my major. But I always really liked, I don't know, criminal minds and all the stuff that had to do with the courtroom. So
yeah, I mean, that's one of the big advantages to going to a small school right there, is being able to go and be involved in a lot of different things. Maybe not things that are involved in your major, but you know, things that you find interesting. Absolutely. Luca, what do you do on campus? What sort of things do you do?
I manage the men's basketball team here at Canisius, which is kind of a full year kind of experience. I was lucky enough to manage in high school and talk with the coaches here, and as a few connections were made, and I was able to manage the basketball team here. And so I do that most in the fall and winter and spring. And then this past fall, I did student interest, which puts on events around campus. Mostly on Thursdays, they had like in the quad here, they had food trucks from around Buffalo, which was awesome. So like they had a mac and cheese truck, an ice cream truck. So they had sponsored movie nights. So it was a great way to engage students who are kind of new to Canisius.
Absolutely. What's your favorite food truck in Buffalo?
I like Frank's hot dogs. It's probably one of my favorite food trucks.
Right on. I'm a Lloyd guy through and through. I'm going to get it for lunch tomorrow, actually. Canisius grads own Lloyd Taco, too. It's a great place. Jake, what do you do on campus? You're a business major. What else do you do?
Yes. So I actually, as of last semester, I am a sophomore senator. And in addition, I'm part of Sigma Phi Epsilon, a business fraternity on campus. I am in the Society of Economics and Finance and a few other business clubs as well.
Gotcha. Good. It keeps you busy over there. That's awesome. What are some of the things that you do in the business club? What goes into the business clubs as
Yeah,
far as
so for
events and things like that?
a lot of it consists of different people coming in and sharing about their majors, and we get connections. They'll tell us about what they do on like a day-to-day basis. Actually, in American Product and Inventory Controls, that one, we get to go and visit. We didn't do it this year because of the pandemic, but we normally get to go and visit a big warehouse, and like they show us how everything is run and all that. So a lot of great opportunities to see what like different fields you could be getting into even within the business field.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I talk to students all the time that want to major in business. I want to do business. What does that mean, right? So, you know, understanding there's a lot more than just saying that you want to be involved in business, right? So getting a good idea of all of those things through the clubs and going on different trips and things like that, and networking, creating your network with Canisius alums, but then also with your peers too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Good stuff. All right. So, Luca, why don't you tell us about what's your favorite class at Canisius?
So my favorite class that I've taken so far was my first semester here. It was called Violent Centuries in Films.
Okay.
And it was a half history class, half movie class. So it was pretty interesting to watch, you know, throughout history, you know, violent, you know, events that took place throughout the past 20th century. So Holocaust was discussed, parts in, you know, the Philippines. So it was just interesting to watch how that took place throughout film and how films were expressed through that.
See, that's one of the things that I think is really cool about Canisius, right? Luca's a sport management major over here, and that's his favorite class, right? You know, the liberal arts education, as far as, you know, learning outside of what your specific area is, right? You know, the accounting majors are not just taking accounting classes. The biology majors aren't just taking biology classes. You know, working out those different parts of your brain to make you, you know, think about other things other than what you're involved in. I say it's the things that make you interesting to talk to at a wedding. I was at a wedding 2 years ago, and I was talking about cave paintings in Central Europe with somebody because that was my art class that I took, was the history of art. But also just, you know, working out different muscles of your brain. I think that's awesome. Paige, what was your favorite class that you've taken so far at Canisius?
So last semester I took, as a part of the honors program, I took rock and roll and literature, which was a really cool class. We read about both, like people in the past who have really influenced music. So like Elvis Presley, James Dean, those types of people. We read books, about both fiction, nonfiction, about the scene, the rock and roll scene. And we did a lot of, creative writing, which I love personally. So that's definitely my favorite. That was with Dr. McNally, who is the director of the honors program.
Awesome. That sounds like a sweet class right there. Valeria, what was your favorite class that you've taken so far? You're a senior. You've taken the most classes of anybody here. You got the biggest selection to pick from over there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, so,
I feel like I have a favorite class in every like department that I've like encountered, but I think my favorite class so far would have to be my business ethics class that I took last year with Dr. Reed. I am obviously very far from like business. I guess pre-med you'll end up running a business or whatever, but I just never thought in that that way and stuff. So it was really interesting to like learn the lingo, and then also actually by the time that I finished the class, I was taking the MCAT, and some of like the language and the questions that like the professor had us talking and learning about in the class were on my MCAT exam. So that was just like, where like even liberal arts classes and like that was a philosophy class that it really like manifests in whatever way that you're looking at going.
Yeah, absolutely. Using those different muscles of the brain over there. That's awesome. That's great. Jake, how about you? What's your favorite class? You don't have to say one of the liberal arts. You can choose, you know, a business class if you want to.
I have a business one, but I am going to say my favorite actually was a liberal arts too.
Yeah.
The reason I want to say it is I honestly was never the biggest fan of like English classes. Like I'm a good writer, but I was never the biggest fan. But I had an English class with Dr. Maloney, and it was like 18th century, and I signed up and because it was like one of the ones left, and I was like, honestly, I don't think this is something I'm interested in, and I loved it because
that's awesome.
Like she did a great job of like working around what we needed. So like we started off reading like all these different stories from then. And then she quickly learned like by asking us that we wanted to get better at writing. And she completely changed it to we'd read like short passages and write. So like just that where, especially like you said at a smaller school, she was able to keep like the same topic of the course, but completely change what we were able to do and help us achieve what we wanted to learn in that class.
That's awesome. Making it worth your while over there. That's great. So and for anybody here, what's your favorite event that you have attended while at Canisius? So anybody can jump in on that one. Student life event, whether it's Griffin's After Dark, a basketball game. What's your favorite event? Anybody jump in here?
I am always going to say Griff Fest, my
Absolutely.
freshman year.
Yeah.
So at the end of every single year, we do Griff Fest. It's the last day of classes, and there's like a huge like carnival set up behind lions. Unfortunately, last year, because of the virus, we weren't able to do it. But my freshman year, we were, and it was so much fun. Like I keep looking forward to it every single year, even hopefully Corona lets up so we can do it again. But it's so much fun.
Yeah, great.
All you can eat food trucks, definitely.
Yeah. There was like a giant slide you could go down. There was like carnival games. So much fun. Yeah.
So for everybody that's watching here, Paige did a good job of explaining it, but I'm just going to explain a little bit more because it's something that are probably four of my favorite days whenever I was a student at Canisius, was Griff Fest. So Griff Fest is our celebratory, sort of the end of the year celebration that we have. So it's on the last day of classes for students, and set up a bunch of food trucks. We're big on food trucks at Canisius. This is sort of what we're getting from this today, but it's completely free for students. So you just share your student ID, and then there's all these food trucks and games and things like that, sort of a carnival type thing, just to celebrate the end of the school year, to reward our students for all the hard work that they put in. It's a big celebration, and, right before getting ready for finals week, the week after. But, the Griff Fest is something that I always look forward to. And I still look forward to it as I work here too, because I get some lunch on that day too, which is great. Great. Jake, what's your favorite event that you have been to on campus?
I was going to say Griff Fest as well, but besides that, I will take a different approach, and I liked it wasn't considered an event, I'd say, but orientation, that honestly has stuck with me because I thought it was so cool how it kind of seemed like kind of like a clean slate, as in everyone was going in and there were like some people knew each other, but a lot of people didn't know each other. And like, I think I probably didn't, but I feel like I met at least like 400 people that day.
Yeah.
Because everyone just said hi to everyone. So that was honestly, I was thinking about it, and that's probably my favorite besides Griff Fest, because it was so cool. We still had we did like bonding stuff, but like just getting to meet everyone and talk and like see how we were all heading in and how different we were, but how everyone was getting along so well.
Yeah, absolutely. Orientations is definitely a big part of the Canisius experience there for your first couple of days on campus. Valeria, you came here from Florida, right? So did you know anyone whenever you came to Canisius, or did you come in nobody?
Not a soul.
Yeah.
Not a soul.
So
and orientation, I wish I could go back, because I was that person that was just there's so many new people that I stayed in my room most of the time, other than the mandatory go to the meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
And then last year I was actually able to be an orientation leader, and I went to everything. I ended up actually having someone in my group that was from Florida too. So I think
nice.
that I was able to help them kind of be no, don't stay in your room. Don't get overwhelmed. Just jump in, meet new people. Everyone's super nice. So
yeah, absolutely. Luca, did you know anybody whenever you came to campus for orientation?
I know a few people. Even though coming from DC, I didn't know anybody coming to Canisius. But when I got here, I did over the summer. I did a overnight kind of stay, and I
Yeah.
met people through that. I met this girl Violet, and I saw her on the first day. I kind of scared her. I came up to her. I was like, "Hey, Violet." She was like, "Is that really you?" I was like, "Yeah, it's me." And so that was kind of cool to meet another person. Then I met my roommate. I moved in on the first day. I met my roommate, and then I met all of his friends, and then his friends had friends. So, it just trickles down. You just keep meeting more and more people throughout the day, throughout the weekend. So yeah, backing up Jake, that orientation moving in day was definitely one of my top 2 days. But my number one has to be beating. As a freshman, managing the basketball team is kind of crazy. But we beat Niagara on our final home game last season, which was kind of going to the max. We were kind of at the bottom of the leaderboard standings, but we beat Niagara at home by I think like 3 or 4 points. It was kind of crazy. It was probably the most packed I've seen the gym, the Kessel Athletic Center. So it was kind of cool.
Absolutely. Anytime we can beat Niagara in anything, I'm all on board for that.
Absolutely.
I just call it the school across the bridge. I don't even say their name. But that's also a great event every year is the Canisius Niagara game that students will go to, against our big rival, Purple School up north, for the basketball game and then also the hockey games too. Jake, you're involved with the hockey team, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you work in athletic promotion, so having a job on campus, right? Does anybody else have a job on campus? Yeah? All right, Jake, why don't you tell us a little bit about your job on campus and how you got it and sort of what you do?
I've heard from multiple people my freshman year that this was the best job. And I went and I met with I went for my interview, and it was funny because he told me, he was like, what you're applying, what you're getting yourself into. And I was like, oh no, what am I getting myself into? And he was like, this is the best work study job on campus. And it really is. So I get to I primarily do hockey games right now, but like the hockey games, basketball games, lacrosse games, volleyball games, swimming meets, all that. And we do like different promotional activities throughout the games. So yeah, because I love sports and it's a great way to be involved and I get paid doing it. So
yeah, absolutely awesome. Valeria, what do you do on campus? Do you have a job on campus? You said?
Yeah, I have like 4 different jobs on campus, but my freshman year I came in and they have a page with like the work study jobs that you can apply to and stuff and like see the openings. And the mailroom is not listed on there, but it was my RA. She was like, the mailroom has an opening. So I went to the mailroom and I've been working there ever since. And so that's like, you get to know like public safety, you get to know all the departments. Like it's been like a really fun way to kind of like get to know the faculty, and they're like, oh, you should take my class and stuff.
Yeah.
But I also work for the pre-med center, doing like alumni outreach and stuff like that. So that's been like a really fun thing that I started this year that, I love our pre-med advisor already and I talk to her like on a daily basis, but
Dr.
being able
Backstrom?
to kind of work closer with all the pre-meds. Yeah, Dr. Backstrom is awesome.
The best.
Everyone seems to be intimidated by her, but she honestly like sit down with her, she'll tell a few jokes. Like,
yeah, she's
awesome.
Great. Awesome. And Paige, you have a job on?
I do a paid research. No, sorry. I do a paid research with the IAR. They're doing an aging and autism study. So I do research that is paid by the NIH with them.
All right. Larry, can you talk a little bit about what the IAR is for everybody watching here tonight?
Yeah, so the IAR is our Institute for Autism Research. We primarily do like interventions with like 7 to 12-year-old high-functioning autism kids. We run a summer program. We used to run a during the semester program, and we offer like paid internships. We offer research assistantships, and right now we're actually doing like a home max thing where we're allowing like parents to learn how to intervene with their kids to help them at home to like better help them, get coping mechanisms and help them with their later lives. And so the aging and autism study, we're looking at adults 65 and older, and kind of seeing, is there a way that we can help older people as well as kids?
Right. And from my understanding, there's not very much research on older people with autism, right? So this is really.
No, this is like
Yeah.
the first one. Yeah, we actually just finished writing our paper. It's going to be published in, it's called Aging, I think it's called the Aging Journal or something like that. But so it's been a really cool thing to, like, I started when the study started, so I've really been able to see
Yeah.
it progress through it.
That's awesome. And are you getting your name on that paper too?
Yes, yeah,
Hey.
I'm going to be the second writer.
Okay.
So that's exciting.
That's awesome. It's going to look great for med school applications here as you get those all together here, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Those hands-on experiences at Canisius, right? We'll get into that here in a second. But Paige, what job do you have on campus?
I'm a tour guide on campus, so nothing super crazy cool like that. But if you do come take a tour, maybe I'll be your guide. But I love it. It's super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Valeria, you talked about being involved in the Institute for Autism Research, having that hands-on experience that Canisius is so well known for, of getting those experiential learning opportunities. Can anybody else talk to me a little bit about, or talk to everybody about sort of any experiential opportunities, experiential learning, whether it's an internship, volunteer experience, anything like that?
For me, so when I was an animal behavior major, so now I'm just a minor, I volunteered at our kitten lab, which is something that happens every spring in the animal behavior lab. So there's, I think, 2 classes, animal learning and animal enrichment, that work with these kittens. Kittens are brought physically to campus. They stay in the lab, but in the meantime, between the classes, they need people to take care of them. So ABEC majors especially can go and play with the kittens. They do kitten enrichment, but that really just means playing with the kittens for an hour. And it's the best thing, especially near finals time, to go take an hour out of your day, go and volunteer your time to play with some kittens. It was great. And that was my freshman year. So that was really awesome. I loved it.
I am blown away every time that I walk past the ABAC lab and looking in to see those kittens, how small they are. They are just,
I know.
They're tiny. I'm not a cat guy over here, but those cats are so small. It's so freaking cute. It's
so
great.
cute.
But a great opportunity for our animal behavior students. Anybody else, has anybody else had an internship or anything like that in their years at Canisius?
I had one set up. I didn't end up getting to do it because of the pandemic, but actually, so I had it set up, and funny thing, didn't even realize, but the guy that I had the interview with, he was a Canisius grad. So I ended up getting the internship, and I was getting ready to start. It was at 43 North, and I was going to help reaching out to like small local companies. It's pretty much like a mini Shark Tank, but locally. Yep. So helping to reach out to those small companies and let them know about the competition and everything. So obviously it didn't happen this year, but I had that all lined up. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it is crazy because like I had absolutely no clue that, I mean, I know Canisius grads are everywhere, but the guy that I had the interview with out of like the 12 people on the board ended up being him.
Yeah, that's great. And the Canisius connection definitely helps you out, especially in Western New York and New York State. Just with how the people that have forged the path before you guys, right? The students that have gone through and then obviously are in hiring positions now, and they've had Canisius students that have worked with them before that want to have Canisius people because they know that they're going to get a good person from Canisius. I say that Canisius, we're known for having good people, so it makes it easier whenever you're already a good person when you come in, when I'm talking to prospective students. But I think that's one of the things, talking about all the different things that Canisius offers of getting students ready for their job market, right? For getting ready for building your resume and also getting those experiences and creating those connections early on in your college career is something that's really important to us and a big part of the Canisius College education. So this is a question that we have that just came in. which is a question that's probably on a lot of people's minds right now, with, old 2020 back in the day, whenever it was 2020, 13 days ago. But how was campus life like? What was campus like with going online classes, both, spring of 2020 and then also fall of 2020? What was classes like? How did professors handle it? What'd your classroom look like? Luca, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. I'll start with spring of 2020. I think it was a pretty quick transition from, being in class every day or whatever your schedule was like, to
Right.
going online every few days or so. Waking up, it was the same, trying to be, present in class. I mean, I did a great job of it. I made sure I was at every class, made sure my friends were at every class, because, it's not only the students are having, trying to learn this, it's also the teachers.
Yeah.
So this is the first time for everybody. I think most teachers did a great job, helping us transition with them. I think, and in the fall, I had a few online classes as well as in person. So the in person were smaller classes than normal, to make sure, follow the rulings that Erie County put out for classrooms.
Yep.
And it was good. I think that the teachers did a great job. What they learned from the spring of 2020 to the fall 2020, to make sure every class was, assignments were, turned in. Everybody was attending Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So they did a great job.
Yeah. Do you think that?
Why?
Oh, use this here page.
Oh, that's not me. Oh.
All right. Oh, all right. We're gonna remove them. All right. So, just talking about how the professors handled everything, right? So, Larry, why don't you talk sort of just about, classes this semester? We were able to keep students on campus up until around Thanksgiving time this year, which is what our goal was. We were a week short. We didn't have any coronavirus, too big of outbreaks on campus. So we did a great job of sort of containing it, everybody wearing masks, social distancing, everything like that. How was class a little bit different for you? And do you think that you lost anything, this semester that you would have in a normal world, I guess?
Being a science major, a lot of our classes have labs. So I
Yeah.
think that was like the biggest thing. We had labs in person, and a lot of the times it was like they separated you into groups. So instead of going to lab every week, you'd go like every other week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was like a really in the spring, because it was so fast, I was in physics. So like we went to labs online, and that was like a huge adjustment for the teacher and for us. So having it be in person as much as possible was really good, because then you could still get that hands-on experience in lab that you would normally get. Other than that, I think that the teachers did a really good job. I'm actually the TA for organic chemistry, or like I help with them.
Yeah.
So the teachers had like all the lectures online for them to be able to watch, and not just like a PowerPoint, but them really writing on it, so that you would still get that same experience if you were sitting like watching like the teacher write on the board,
Right,
and like show all the chemical structures and all of that. So I thought they did a really good job of that.
awesome. That's great to hear right here. And definitely a struggle everywhere for being in person rather than online, which Canisius was able to do, which was awesome this semester. Hopefully we have another great semester here coming up, starting a little bit later than usual this year, but still having the semester plan is to have all classes in person again. So Jake, you are a commuter, right? You're a resident commuter here on this panel. So there's always, you hear the stereotypes that commuters, they go to class and then they go home. Doesn't sound like that's what you do on campus. How as a commuter, how do you get involved on campus for anyone that's thinking about maybe commuting whenever they come to Canisius?
Yeah, so a big thing that helped me was I made a lot of friends that were residents. So like especially my freshman year, I would always go up to my friends' rooms, and I was able to, because like I'd get done. I liked having my classes all crunched into like 2 days usually, and then I'd use the rest of the days to do the work for them. So I got done with long hours of classes, and I'd go up and just relax in my friend's room. So that was definitely nice.
Yeah.
But like as far as clubs go, a lot of my clubs too had meetings, and like they worked well around our schedule. So I ended up like staying for meetings, or for example, for the Sigma Phi Epsilon that I'm in, we have to have office hours. So I'm in there. I think it was 4 hours a week, and like that's nice because you just get to sit in the club room, and people will come in and ask questions. But when they're not asking questions, it's a nice place to do your homework because it's super quiet. So
Yeah.
Personally, I found it very easy because there's always there's the commuter lounge, which is always great. They usually have something going on in there, whether it's breakfast or all stuff like that. So I thought, everyone always said, my parents were like trying to urge me. They were like, you should dorm. And I was like, I don't know. I think I can do it. And
Yeah.
they're shocked with how well I was able to do it because of how much there is to keep busy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think that your experience is, unique to a commuter at Canisius, right? That commuters are still, very involved. It's not, I'm going to class and then, I'm going to go take a nap in my car in between classes. There's stuff to do on campus. So, definitely keep people that aren't living on campus still involved in campus. Now, Paige, you live on campus, right?
Yes, I do. I live in Village Townhouses, which is near Lions. So if you ever go to admissions, it's like right next door. Before then, my freshman year, I lived in Bosch, and which is the freshman dorms. One of
Oh,
two
wait,
freshman
hold on.
dorms.
All right, Valeria and Luca, what's your guys' dorm? Are you guys Frisch or Bosch?
Bosch.
Well, my freshman year I was fresh, so
All right.
I'm fresh,
Luca, we're Frisch strong over here. There's a big rivalry on campus.
First six, right,
Frisch
Jack?
6, yes, absolutely.
Right. That's right.
There's big rivalry on campus over which one of the freshman dorms is better. They're exactly the same, but Frisch is the place that you
They're
want to be.
opposite though. It's a whole
Yeah,
other
they're mirror
world.
images.
Right. Yeah, but Paige, I'm sorry, I just had to get my Frisch dig in there real
No
quick.
worries. Bosch is better, but we'll
my
go past
friends
that.
You're a Frisch guy, Jake? You're on Team
That's
Frisch?
that's where I was always.
Good stuff. We
First
went
six,
3-2
too.
over here. All right, so Paige, so you lived. I'm sorry for interrupting you. But
No worries. So I lived in Bosch, and then that was great. I mean, for freshman dorms, they're so nice.
Yeah.
And then after my freshman year, for my sophomore year, I lived in Dugan, which is sometimes called Hotel Dugan just because of how nice it is.
Yeah.
The rooms are huge. It's all suite living, so I had a roommate and then two suite mates, and we were connected by a bathroom. Although you can also be connected by a living room. And then now I live in Village, which is apartment style living. So I live there with two roommates, and we have each our own bedroom, and then we have two bathrooms to share. It comes with a kitchen and then a living room, and I love it. It's perfect, and we're gonna do the same thing next year just because we love it so much.
Awesome, that's great. And Luca, you live over in that Hotel Dugan over there. I'm calling in live from the Hotel Dugan over there, right?
I'm currently in Hotel Dugan right now. I love it here. I live on the first floor. It's nice. The room's huge. I was lucky enough this past semester and this upcoming semester, I don't have a roommate. So it's just me and my suite mate, Andrew, and we're connected by a bathroom. But I've got, the double beds, double kind of everything. So it's kind of,
Nice.
it's kind of like my own little hotel room in here.
Nice.
But all my friends live in Dugan. I've got
Yeah.
a bunch of colleagues live in Dugan, but also the basketball team lives in Dugan. So it's kind of easy to connect with them. It's easy access. It's closer to campus than I think Bosch. Yeah, it's closer than Bosch. Closer than Frisch.
Still in the tunnel system there too, which is great. I bet
Right,
you're missing
exactly.
that over at Village, Paige, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so much. That's the one thing I don't like about Village is that I can't get to everywhere right through the tunnels. Excuse me.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Awesome. Yeah. And so for anyone that's watching that doesn't know, Canisius is one of the things that, I don't know, I would say we're a little bit famous for. It is our tunnels. So all of the buildings on our main block of campus that we have. So campus stretches about 3 blocks. So 3 city blocks is about how big campus is. So a pretty compact campus. But the main city block of campus, all of the buildings are connected underground by tunnels. So the freshman and sophomore residence halls, as well as the dining hall and student center, the library, and then what else? We got a science building, and then the main academic building, and then the building where most of the professors' offices are as well. So one of the great things about, being able to go to class in the middle of February with shorts and a t-shirt, you can't beat that coming in Buffalo, right? So I said something about professors that made me think, just talk about a little bit about, Valeria, you talked about it with Dr. Backstrom in the pre-med department, but sort of how is the relationship between students and professors? That's something that we talk about all the time with students, with prospective students rather, is that, we're Canisius, we're 2,200 students. We have 17 average class size, or your biggest class you'll ever be in is 30. You're going to have personalized connections with professors. Can you speak to that a little bit about, what's the relationship like between the student and the
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because the fact that I'm not a science major, a lot of like the science classes I've taken is just for my pre-med requirements. And I mean, every professor that you talk to is like ready to help you no matter what, especially like with the psych department. That's actually how I was able to like get an internship my freshman year, like have a paid internship now. It's because you go up to your professor and you say, hey, I want to do research with you, and they take you under their wing. And like with the pre-med center, Dr. Backstrom sets up an appointment with you your freshman year, first semester, and she is there with you through the whole process. I actually applied to UB my sophomore year, UB Medical School, and got in. And
Awesome.
You have to
Congratulations.
have recommendation letters. Thank you. You have to have recommendation letters, and I was able to get that because of the fact that freshman year, your teachers are there with you. All your teachers are there supporting you and wanting you to succeed in life. So it's definitely like a relationship that my friends go to UB and they're like, yeah, I'm a kid in 400, like 1 out of 400 students, and I don't even know my teacher's name. So it's definitely something I'm grateful for.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. And talking about experiences at Canisius, all these great things that the 4 people that we have on this panel here today, all the great things that they're involved in. These things aren't just handed to you at Canisius. I think a lot of times, talking about these things like, oh, I'm going to go to Canisius and I'm going to have 5 internships and I'm going to have a job on campus. I'm going to do research and do all of these things that these Canisius students that we have here are talking about, right? I mean, you got to do some work to do those things too. You have to raise your hand, talking to the professors, talking with the basketball coach, getting involved in being a tour guide, getting involved in clubs, all of those things. The opportunities are definitely there for you. You just got to take advantage of it whenever you're in college, for sure. Jake, how's the relationship between the students and the professors over there in the Whaley School of Business?
Very good. Funny you said it, because today, I always check my school email, but one of my professors that I had, Dr. Becker, I had her freshman year, second semester, and now we're going into sophomore year, second semester, and she sent out an email to me today and was like, just basically saying she was reaching out to like some of her old students and just saying if we needed any help or just to talk or anything like that. So I thought that was pretty cool that someone that I had over a year ago that's getting, like, she has like 5 different classes, 25, 30 kids, like personally reached out to people. So yeah, there's definitely connections, and especially when you want to learn something about like what they did, because a lot of my professors have had jobs in the field before they've came and taught. So like learning about that and just like the connections that they already have, they are very available to help you out with all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about professors' connections, that's one of the big advantages of going to a small school like Canisius, and Canisius specifically is, okay, so Jake talked about having professors that were involved in the industry, have a lot of practical experience, but then also connecting you with alums as well. with students that they've had, as a Canisius graduate. Obviously I still work at the school and I still keep in contact with my professors, but that's not something that's unique. The 6 guys that I still hang out with and lived off campus with, all of them still talk with their professors, whether they're looking for a different job or something, or trying to further themselves in their career. There's a lot of things that the professors are there for, and you're part of their network now. So taking advantage of that, I think, is something that's really important, to having a great college experience, and then also being successful afterwards as well. So our next question here, that we have from someone that just submitted it. What are some of the things to do outside of campus around the area? We're in the city of Buffalo. One of the biggest advantages of Canisius, in my opinion, one of the reasons why I chose Canisius was because I wanted to go to school in the city. What are some of the things that the city has to offer? Anybody can jump in on that one.
Buffalo's got a lot.
Yeah.
Buffalo's awesome. I love it. My family grew up here. Both my parents were born in Buffalo. I've come here every summer. There's a lot to do. You might not think so, but there's sporting events. Buffalo Bills games, Sabres games. There's
Blue Jays games, yeah.
Blue Jays games. There's Bison's games. But besides athletics, there's Niagara Falls. There's Lewiston, which is a little bit north of Niagara Falls. There's the art park there. There's Delaware Park, where there's a lot of events go on there, which is about a mile walk away from campus, not even. There's tons of events going downtown.
What's your favorite event that you've been to so far, Luca?
I actually went to the Helium Comedy Club downtown on Perry Street. I did that. So I never really thought of ever going to a comedy club. My friend suggested we should do this. I thought it was a great idea. It's hey, comedy's funny. Why not try it out? It's going outside your bubble. That's what Buffalo really is. It's going outside your comfort zone.
Absolutely. Valeria?
I want to mention one thing. Yes. One of the things that when I first came to Buffalo, and I guess a little backstory, I accepted Canisius, I decided I was going to Canisius without ever actually seeing the school. I never actually came to a tour until I was 2 weeks before move-in day. I came and I finally took a tour.
Awesome.
But driving Buffalo, it's called the Theater Square, and it's where it's just a road on Main Street that's filled with theaters, filled with music and stuff like that. And that's a big thing in high school. My whole life I've been so musicals, anything musical. That's been a huge part. So having a complete street that's connected by the subway that is literally right down the street from where I live, it's awesome being able to just get on the subway and go watch a musical one weekend. And sometimes campus even gives you tickets that you can come and pick up to go to see them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of my lines in admissions is Canisius is your school, but Buffalo is your campus, right? We treat all of our students really treat the city as part of the school, and part of what your experience is, getting outside of, we have a lot of events going on campus, which you guys talked about, but, Buffalo is a college town and a city all at the same time, right? We have a lot of college students in the city because there's a lot of colleges in Buffalo. So it's a great place to go to college. A lot of 18 to 22-year-olds that are in Buffalo. And we're really close to right where you want to be. Plus, it's easy to get around the city. Larry talked about getting on the subway, on the train. Canisius gives students passes to metro passes to do that. So, we really encourage it to go out and to go exploring and treat Buffalo as your own. We want you to be big a part of the Canisius community and as well as the Buffalo community. I think that's something that is a really big advantage of going to school in a city, and especially Canisius and Buffalo. We're right in the middle of everything.
To add to that, Buffalo, right now, the Canisius campus is in the city. You really think about you go 3 blocks down, it's suburbs, or it's townhouses. It's nothing's ever around Canisius. Not all of it's the same. It's all different. Ethnicities, different places to visit. It's all different food types. It's all different. That's
Yeah.
why that's, Elmwood is a great strip of food places. People
Yeah.
live there. It's probably one of my favorite, strips in Buffalo. Different places to visit, eat, see, people to meet. It's awesome.
And
Great.
there really is something like there's also downtown. There's Riverworks right along the water, and there's always tons of concerts there in the summer. But yeah, there really is something for everything you want to do.
Absolutely. I've fallen in love with the place since moving here in 2013 as a college freshman, and I'm still here because I like Buffalo so much. It's a great place to be. So our next question, our viewers today want us to talk a little bit more about freshman campus housing. Paige, you talked about it a little bit. Being able to be in a suite your freshman year, and that they're a little bit nice. So I'll just sort of talk about housing here a little bit, about what people usually want to know about housing. Like I talked about, the Frisch and Bosch Hall, big rivalry. So there are two L's on the end of campus. They're exact mirrors of each other. Down one hallway is all females, and then down the other hallway is all men. There's suites that you can be in your freshman year. So the way that works is that it's two people, and then a living room, and then two people off to the side. So you can be in a suite, or you can be in a double your freshman year. Also, you can be in a single your freshman year if you wanted to do that as well. And then sort of the L shape, so down each hallway, right in the middle of the hallways, is a common room, which common room is a great place to meet people. As someone, some of our panelists, not knowing very many people, hanging out in the common room is a great place to meet people and, eat your lunch, or just hang out, which is a lot of what college is, just hanging out a lot of times, right? A lot of studying, but a lot of hanging out too. So that's sort of how freshman housing works. The way that we decide on freshman housing for our incoming students is that we have, you take a survey of just sort of, do you like to go to bed late? Do you like to wake up early? Are you clean? Are you dirty? Those types of questions. And then our housing department will match you with a roommate, or you can choose to have a roommate too if you already know somebody. You can connect with other students on our Facebook profile. We have a Canisius class of 2025, right? That would be what it is, right? Yeah. So class of 2025 Facebook page that students are on right now, and we see a lot of interaction on there where people will find roommates and things like that. But then also the way that we decide. So if you want to be in a suite, make your decision a little bit earlier, just because those ones are usually the first ones to go. That's how we do it, is when you make your decision to go to Canisius by putting down your deposit for housing. So that's a little bit about freshman housing. I hope it answered your question. If it doesn't, shoot me a chat, and then we can talk a little bit more about it. So our next question is, how often do students get opportunities to travel? Paige, you were talking about maybe going to study abroad before we jumped on here today. Why don't you talk about, I know you didn't get the experience, but
Yeah.
sort of what's the experience beforehand of getting the study abroad?
Yeah, so as a Spanish major, I am required to study abroad, and I think it's like that for a couple other majors, but I'm not 100% which ones those are. But I do have to study abroad, although some Spanish majors now are having that waived because of the virus.
Yeah.
And so over the summer, I was going to spend a month in Mexico, in Puebla, Mexico, studying Spanish, living with a host family. And I was super psyched for it, but of course,
Yeah.
Corona kind of threw a wrench in that plan.
Yeah.
But I worked with my Spanish professor to set that up. I fundraised a little money for it. It was, it was great up until it got canceled, of course. And I'm still planning to do that in the future.
Awesome.
So yeah, hopefully that'll pan out.
Yeah, definitely. And, one of the things that I think is great about our study abroad office at Canisius is, obviously study abroad, going to another country, but then also there's a lot of opportunities for travel, whenever there's not travel restrictions or, anything that's going on right now, for different, whether it's a spring break, you go on a week somewhere for like a service trip or something like that. Or over Christmas break, we'll have students that will go on different trips. So there's a lot of travel opportunities that you can have both in the United States, going to a lot of different things, depending on your major. Some classes will go on different trips and things like that. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunities to get to travel, whether it's studying abroad or studying in the United States for, one specific class or something like that. Yeah.
Also, someone,
Oh, Valeria, you go ahead.
Jake can go first.
All right. All right. You raise your hand first. You're quick on the draw, but Jake, go ahead.
I was, well, this is off topic. So I was just going to say one of the questions right before it asked about like touring of campus.
Yeah.
So you can, because it was asking if it was live or virtual.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I missed that one, but just to let everybody know about tours right now. So starting next week, we're having live tours on campus. So you can sign up to have a tour on campus at canisius.edu/visit for one of our weekday opportunities. And then also we will have some accepted student events here in the spring as well, and some Saturday events, but you can see all that at canisius.edu/visit if you want to come visit campus. We also are doing virtual tours once a week right now. So on Tuesdays, I believe, Tuesdays at 3 o'clock, we're doing a virtual tour with an admissions counselor or a tour guide. So that's something to look forward to as well. But that you can also sign up for that at canisius.edu/visit.
Right, and to add to the travel real quick, Toronto, Canada is right there.
Yeah.
Niagara Falls is 30 minutes away. Going across the border. I mean, I for my 19th birthday, I went to Canada for my 19th birthday. So that, everything's close. Toronto's only 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Cleveland's only 3 hours away. Rochester and Syracuse are only 2.5 hours away. New York City, 6 hours. So you have a longer weekend, no school on a Monday. You can go like a girls or guys trip to New York City for the weekend.
Yeah.
So Buffalo is really like in the everything's 6 hours away from Buffalo. Really.
Right. Los Angeles? By plane.
Yeah, plane ride. But
What I was going to say is to do with the traveling, not just like in class, but I know for like the pre-med area and just like pre-vet, pre-dental, any like pre-health thing, we have trips to Ohio, and I always forget the name. It starts with an A, but there's this thing called RAM, which is remote area medicine. So what it does is it sets up shop in a like more like low income area where they don't have a lot of health, what's it called? Like a lot of people don't have like a primary care provider, like all that stuff. So we go for like a long weekend and we just go and volunteer. We shadow dentists, we shadow doctors.
Yeah.
I was an interpreter for Spanish, and like I helped everyone like go through the process. So like there's a lot of cool like public, I guess, opportunities that you can go volunteer and like do a little travel thing with like a bunch of students.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
And also, sorry, real quick, just for the
for it.
honors program, if anyone's interested in that, there's also a lot of travel opportunities for that. So I got to go my freshman year to Boston as like a travel learning trip, and there's a bunch of little trips like that throughout the year. So if you are a part of the honors program, definitely look out for those as well.
Okay.
And clubs. I went to New York City and Washington, D.C. for one of my clubs.
Awesome. Cool. What'd you do there? Anything fun?
New York City, we did a little bit of everything. We went to a baseball game, we went to a show, and then we just explored.
Awesome. Cool. So Paige, this next question is for you, just real quick. We have a student that's interested in animal behavior. What do you think makes animal behavior unique at Canisius? It's already a pretty unique major with only 6 other places in the country that have it as a major, but what makes it unique at Canisius?
I think that the hands-on experience that you can get sort of around every corner, there's some experience you can have. I was part of research. I did my freshman year. So I talked to a professor who I knew did research with cats, and I'm a huge cat person. And I was like, hey, I'm really interested.
Yeah.
So if you have an opening, let me know. And by the end of the semester, I was in the research program with her, Dr. Suchek, if you're interested. And so I got to do research. That's something I can always put on my resume. There's always something you can sort of be involved with. And then I mentioned the kitten thing, you know, volunteering your time with that, getting hands-on experience with, you know, animals in that way, volunteering. There's also a lot of connections to Buffalo and the surrounding areas. We've got like Tift Nature Center, which we have a lot of interns go to. And then the professors are amazing. Like they're just wonderful, wonderful people. They have so much experience in the field, and they're really, really passionate, and they're willing to help you if you're ever struggling with anything. They're willing to get you a connection if you need one. So I would definitely recommend talking to the professors if you're interested in ABEC, and they'll be wonderful. They'll help you out, help you learn more.
Another thing that you can do at canisius.edu/visit, that's the web address of the night here. You can sign up to talk with a professor or try to schedule an appointment with a professor. So something that you can do right now too. So after you're done with this, if you want to sign up and try to find a time to do that as well. All right, our last question that we're going to take here tonight is from Peyton. Peyton asks, what is the best / most quiet place to study on campus?
I've got two. Paige, go ahead.
I was just going to say, well, the most quiet is a pretty easy answer. It's the top floor of the library, which is the silent floor, it's really well traversed during and around finals week, just because you can hear a pin drop. There's no talking. You open a bag of chips too loud, you're going to be scolded by a librarian. You know, it's the perfect place to get a lot of work done in a crunch.
That was my least favorite place on campus.
And there's two other floors of the library also. There's like the main floor, which is the kind of the talkative floor to hang out with friends a little bit. You can eat Tim Hortons right there right outside the library. And then the bottom floor is kind of like semi-quiet, semi-loud. So you can like talk a little bit, but not, you know, where you're, you know, like raging in the
you're still in a library, right?
Right, you're still in a library. So like there's 3 levels. Paige talked about the first one, and the other 2 are, you know, the main floor is kind of the talkative meeting area, and then the bottom floor is kind of, you know, Zen mode, kind of relaxing but still talkative.
Nice. I like how you described that there. So we're going to end here on our last question. We're going to start with Jake of what's one piece of advice that you would give a senior in high school right now that's looking at Canisius and looking at Canisius at other schools too? What do you think they need to know? You can either answer that or you can say why you chose Canisius. You guys.
So I will say the big thing of advice would definitely be stepping out of your comfort zone, like especially it was talked about at the orientation how like I did take advantage of meeting people, but I could have done a little bit of a better job. So definitely stepping out of your comfort zone, and like, because I was never like a person to just go up and introduce myself, but I learned to do that, and it really helped me meet a lot more people, and especially in my field, gain confidence, because I'm like, as in the business world, you're selling yourself. So definitely that, and especially finding people in your major. I know for me, but especially for those in the science fields, because you're doing a lot of studying, and I've heard how much easier it is when you're studying with others. So yeah, definitely just making sure you're putting yourself out there, and just making the most of your experience, because you'll look back on the days and won't know where it went.
I can speak to that. Absolutely. Valeria, why don't you give us a piece of advice, or, you know, why did you choose Canisius? One of the 2 questions. I'll let you choose.
Yeah, I feel like Jake's over here being even more wise than me. Like, you still got a little ways to go before it's all gone. But my biggest advice when, like, you're looking at all the schools is really know how you learn. Know, like, what's going to make you comfortable. Like, at first, I thought I wanted to go to a massive school where no one would know my name, and, like, it would be thousands and thousands of people. And I had to really remember that I am a hands-on learner, and I need to be able to, you know, contact my professor if I need that help. And like, be able to, have like close friends that are around, especially since I was going far away from school. So my biggest advice is definitely like pay attention to like what you need out of the school more than just like what, like, I don't know, like having that image of a specific school. Definitely pay attention to like have like a heartbeat check or whatever to know what you need out of a school.
Awesome. That is great. Paige, do you want to follow that up? It's going to be tough. That was great advice. You guys are giving me goosebumps over here.
I'm going to sort of give advice that I wish I had received as I was doing this college search. But I think the biggest thing is to like listen to yourself above anyone else. Above your friends, and like, your family's important to this decision as well, but you got to do what's true to you. Don't let the pressure of like this or that get to you. You need to, when you step on campus and it feels like home, you got to listen to that feeling. And then the other thing is sort of just to prepare. I would say like start using a planner or something to get yourself organized now, because I came into college not knowing how to be organized, and it was a bit of a train wreck for a little while. So when I would say start now in your senior, junior year, whatever you are, use a planner, get to know what to do, how to plan your week, and you'll be set to go for college.
All right, awesome. Luca, you got any advice for our attendees today?
I think these three panelists kind of covered that. I can't really speak on that, but I'll tell you why I chose Canisius, and there's kind of three reasons. The size of the school was perfect for me. It was the perfect fit. I know everybody. I know a lot of people here. I'm a people person. I know a lot of professors. I know a lot of athletes, but I know a lot of people in theater. I know people who do music. I know, a bunch of people. The second reason is the location. It is Buffalo. Buffalo is amazing. Doesn't matter if you're, like theater, sports, canal side, whatever you want to do, it's all here. Buffalo has it. And then the final reason was a few months before I accepted the Canisius, or a year before, actually on my visit, I met with the head of the sports management department, Dr. Sean O'Rourke, and he's the coolest guy I've ever met, ever.
And Luca has met me before, and he's saying that.
Right, I've met Jack.
Wow.
I've met, I met a lot of people, and Jack and Dr. O are definitely up there. But he made it personal. He told me, this is what your plan is for the next 4 years. This is, how your classes are going to look like. These are, who you're going to meet, the internships that, you could have. He always, like, the first thing was, he told me was that there's two emails that are going to be important, from your parents and from me. That's it. And, I always check his email first. He's giving out internships weekly. He's telling us information about, athletics going around. So he made it personal, and that's why, Canisius is why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Great. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much to our panelists for joining us, taking time out of their break for joining us today. And thank you to all our prospective students that joined us as well. Like I said, we're opening up campus for visits again next week. So starting on Tuesday, you can sign up to come visit campus. You get a meeting with an admissions counselor, sort of talk about your situation, talk about your different majors and, student life and things like that. And then go ahead and you'll get to go on a tour, maybe with Paige, and sort of show you around campus. And like Paige talked about it a little bit, which is my best advice to everybody is, you're not going to be able to say this reason, or that reason is why I chose the school. It's going to come down to a gut feeling, and you're going to get it. Valeria, you had it without being on campus, but I think you got to be on campus to have that feeling of, this is the place for me. This is the home for me. I can see myself spending 4 years here, and all of those things. And you're just going to feel it in your gut. You're not going to be able to explain it, but that's something I always encourage people to come visit campus at every school that you're looking at, not just Canisius. But if you need anything, reach out to the admissions office, reach out to me. Everyone has my email that signed up for this event today. But thanks again to our panelists, and go Griffs and go Bills. All right, guys, have a great night.